Hello, Talk Funders. Today, we're joined by Rich from the WEREWOLF Beer Company based in Camden in London. What about you, Rich? How are you?
Fantastic. We're trucking ahead. Everything is happening. Everything's happening all at once, which is or is not ideal, but it's got to happen at some point. So now's the time, I guess.
Well, we'll cover a lot of your story in the backstory part of the interview. And it certainly is really happening because you have a great story to tell. But let's really look at the current campaign, which at the moment is, at time of recording, has 6 days left to run. And I must admit, it's a great story and a great product, and with a few hidden surprises in the campaign as well. So here we are. You're going live on Crowdfunder. And it's the Get WEREWOLF Beer Brewing. Sorry, it's my accent. I have problems with WEREWOLF Beer Brewing Company. And I think the best way to do it is, let's just scroll down. This is your latest update video here, which Talk Funders can go to. I think it was just made in the last few days. Rich, is that right?
Yep, that was yesterday morning. So
yesterday morning. So that was and we'll just go down to the main campaign video here just at the bottom of the page now, and I'm just going to press play, and I'm going to enlarge that so we can see it all. Love the nod, love the signage that you're doing. So I'll just press play here, Rich.
Yep.
So Rich, what's the story? You want to do an American themed brewery in Camden in London. Is that basically the essentials of it?
That's it. I've obviously craft beer as it currently stands in the whole world is influenced by what's gone on in the American craft beer scene since the 80s, with things like Sierra Nevada kind of taking over the world and making new and interesting beers after everybody got tired of consolidation and massive corporate breweries. So as a brewer in London, I kind of want to go back to the sort of craft beers I was getting into when I first discovered beer in the 2000s, and bring some of the classic American styles, but also bring Americana and the things I like about the US to the UK and have it be a part of me.
And bringing it to the UK, I mean, you've had, again, we'll cover this later, but you're a seasoned brewer. You're a head brewer at the London Brewing Company for 5 years. So it's just not something that you just started off in your kitchen. You've got a solid professional background in brewing. And I've just stopped the video at this clip. This is currently what you're crowdfunding for at the moment in Camden. You took over this, and maybe I'll just talk a little bit about the story. I mean, you left your professional job as a head brewer in the start of 2019, and like everybody else, you were setting your sail for business, for a new business venture. Fair play to you, and you really established it in April 2019. And you were basically, I'm sure, working your pants off for those months, and then 2020 happened. So maybe is there parts of the story there which are important for the Talk Funders to know about?
I think so. The first is procuring commercial property at any time is tough, and getting something that's suitable specifically for a brewery, both on amenities and location for a tap room, so there's footfall, it's like trying to catch fairies. It's really, really hard. So throw in everything being shut down. Everything's been getting pushed back. And because this location, as you can see from the video here, is in not the best shape, it turns out there's been a lot of other upgrades that need to happen for us to be able to take it over. And we still don't actually, because they haven't started the works yet, we don't know the complete story. So we do need some funds for that. Drainage is a big one. There are currently no utilities. There's no three-phase electric, water, or drainage. And the other thing is, a lot of breweries had a tough time surviving with no on-trade sales. And the ones that were able to pivot onto small pack and mail order sales direct to the public were the ones that have been able to come out with less of a black eye. And so the other thing that we're crowdfunding for is a small automatic canning line, so that we are agile enough to handle any further lockdowns or pandemic related issues.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to say, as it says clearly on your page, thankfully it was real benefit to yourselves that you didn't take on any loans and you hadn't taken on any lease to a building. So that really protects the top funders when they do invest in the Werewolf Brewery Company. So it's basically what you need is to raise the money to do what's basically on the screen at the moment. Can we talk our way through these what you just talked about, these 4 steps? Is first of all canning.
Yes. So the kind of the preferred mode of packaging for craft brewing at this time is cans. They weigh less, they cost less to ship, they don't break, and also they treat the beer better because they completely keep out light, and done properly, they are more impervious to oxygen, and oxygen is the enemy of all food spoilage, including beer. So if you want a beer to be fresh, you want to make sure it's sealed really, really tightly inside a can. And so the move towards this, a lot of breweries don't have their own canning line. They bring in contract canners, so they basically show up with a van and unload their equipment and set up. But it's pricey, and there's minimum runs, and you have to work with other people's schedules. And having a canning line in-house that's already paid for will repay for itself. The return on investment is very quick as compared to hiring other people to come in.
Well, see, like that's where your professional knowledge and everything. I find that mesmerizing. Like I've just learned. I love drinking craft beer, but I actually don't know very much about how it's produced. So that's very enlightening. So now I understand, because I always think craft beer, it's in a bottle. It's better to be in a bottle. But now I understand it's actually better for me as a consumer to have it in a can. Fantastic. So thank you for sharing that, Rich. Let's move on to the next one, the web shop.
Yeah, so the big thing is once everything's in a can, it's getting it out to the public and having a well-made, easy to operate, easy to update website with web shop that integrates with our brewery management software to avoid having to do double entry, keep track of stock and things. Saves me a lot of personal time. I mean, at this point, I'm the only employee, and my time as a brewer is very valuable. So sitting around and dealing with stock take or messing around with online sales where I have to go into 3 different sites and re-enter them into other sites to complete an order is honestly, it's a massive waste of opportunity cost. And so getting a good one in place and doing it right from the first time, unlike a lot of breweries that are having to retrofit and change what they're already doing to fit what's going on right now, we want it purpose built and we want a good one.
Yeah, and again, you have this overarching view of the whole industry and what the dynamics is of the industry. So thank you very much for that. And drainage, what is drainage? Is this to do with your building?
Yeah, so I mean, if you think about your house, you've got your kitchen sink and your bathroom sink and your toilet and your shower go down the drain, and there's one there, and you probably never think about it unless something horrible's happened to it. And for brewing, having some place for waste to go is very important. We have a lot of liquid waste. There's things like spent yeast and bits of hops. And brewing, anybody will probably tell you that brewing is mostly cleaning. So when you take a liter of water, you take a liter of beer, in general, it's going to have taken 3 to 6 liters of water to make it. And it's not because it's evaporating off. It's because you're having to wash things, sanitize things, use it to push product through lines and things like that. So there's a lot of wastewater that goes down the drain, and we need a place for that. And the place we currently have does not have that, and that was not known to even the landlords. So.
Yeah, and I suppose that's part of the backstory is like, because you're into food or production or whatever, there's really high standards of hygiene regulations and everything that I'm sure you have to comply with. I'm sure, is it who does that? Is that Camden Council?